tonight.
Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it.
Hello, this is Tony Cook, editor of Model Railroad News Magazine, welcoming you to the AML Model Railroad News podcast for Friday, July 20th, 2018. In Model Railroad News' June 2018 edition, there was a prototype profile and model survey focused on Alco's RS-11. This four-axle diesel locomotive, introduced in the mid-1950s, enjoyed good sales and generally operated well with long careers on many railroads. The feature and MRN detailed the prototype owners with a number of color images, then ran down the models produced in the popular hobby scales over the years. The noted conclusion of this article was that hobbyists had no truly road and production phase specific example model available. Well, that's about to change. You'll hear about this RS-11 development after we get to our trivia question. The Canadian RS-11 equivalent, the RS-18 built by Montreal Locomotive Works, saw passenger service on what railroad, and what was the service known as, and where did it operate? I'll have the answer as well as train show info for you after the news. Rapido Trains recently announced a number of new projects related to a pair of first-generation diesels and a series of late 1960s passenger cars. The company plans to have Alco's RS-11 and Montreal Locomotive Works RS-18 diesels available in mid-2019. The highly accurate HO-scale Rapido Trains models will present RS-11s decorated and detailed for a number of railroads and for a variety of eras. For example, Norfolk & Western's RS-11s will come in as-delivered black with gold lettering, and you'll also be able to choose the mid-1960s N&W Pevler Blue scheme. Those mid-1960s Pevler Blue N&W RS-11s will come with louver covers over the intake grills on the long hoods, replicating the prototype. The other announced RS-11s include Conrail in blue with white lettering, as well as black with CR white stencil covering Penn Central paint, Lehigh Valley, New Haven and McGinnis scheme, Pensy with examples coming with the elaborate train phone antenna and also without this detail, Penn Central with lettering to include all white PC heralds and red P and white C heralds, Southern Pacific in Black Widow and later Bloody Nose livery, and the attractive Alco demonstrator scheme with green and silver outlined in yellow striping. As noted, all of these will have road-specific details to them to make them accurate. In Canada, Montreal Locomotive Works built its RS-18 diesel for Canadian National and Canadian Pacific. This unit differed from its American cousin by having rounded ends to its hood sections versus the RS-11's notched number boards and more square ends. Rapido Trains will cover as-delivered RS-18s for both CN and CP with their elaborate schemes, and will produce an accurate modified RS-18 in CN's Tempo passenger service colors and Action Red CP rail offerings in a number of variations with late-era modified details. This series of coming HO-scale Rapido Trains RS-11s and RS-18s will be offered in silent DC versions and with ESU-made electronics in DCC and sound releases. Visit rapidotrains.com to find out more. Do you have an answer for the trivia question? Canadian National modified a half dozen of its Montreal Locomotive Works RS-18s in the 1960s to allow them to supply HEP or head-in power to the road's new Tempo passenger cars built by Hawker Siddeley. The Tempo service, inaugurated with the newly constructed equipment in 1968, operated between Toronto, Ontario and Chicago, Illinois. Rapido Trains announced plans for accurate HO reproductions of the RS-18 with passenger service details and bright orange and white Tempo livery, as well as multiple body styles for the Tempo passenger cars. Visit Rapido Trains' website to find out more. Coming train shows, August 2nd through August 5th is the 2018 Circus Model Builders Annual Convention. You'll see a vast display of circus models in various scales and memorabilia set up alongside the world's largest collection of Pennsylvania Railroad equipment. The event will be at the Strasburg, Pennsylvania Railroad Museum, and your admission to the museum includes the Circus Model Builders Convention. The weekend of August 10th through the 12th, the annual National Train Show is open to the public. This year's National Train Show will be in Kansas City, Missouri. The show will be downtown in Kansas City at Bartle Hall. Hours will be Friday noon to 6, Saturday 10 to 6, and Sunday 10 to 5. Admission is $15. Teens get in for $10, that's ages 13 to 17. Kids will be admitted for $7, ages 6 to 12, and those under 6 get in for free. You can find out more by visiting kc2018.org/train show. Be sure to join me, Tony Cook, editor of Model Railroad News, for the next edition of the AML Model Railroad News podcast. The August 2018 edition of Model Railroad News is now available and features Athearn's Genesis SD70s decorated for Conrail and Norfolk Southern. Find out about these HO releases by reading Ryan Crawford's in-depth examination of the prototypes and the models. Look for the latest edition of Model Railroad News with the Conrail and Norfolk Southern SD70s on its cover. Visit www.shop.whiteriverproductions.com for more information on Model Railroad News, HO Collector, and the many other fine publications available from White River Productions. For more podcast fun, A Modeler's Life is the place to start. You'll find AML on the web at amodelerslife.com. That's with one L, not two like lifelike. And don't forget to visit AML's Facebook at facebook.com/modelerslife.
It's another Lincoln Homer.